Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. This video I'm going to be showcasing all the survivors and killers in Forsaken. Now, I'm not incredible at all the characters, but I do know some tips and tricks for them, and this kind of just showing and telling the basics of what all they can do. So I'm going to get my friend to join and, well, show off what these characters can do. Alright, so here we are, we're in the game now. So, this is basically all the things that the noob can do. So, starting off with the stats, he has the standard 100 health, 100 stamina, and 12 walk speed, 24 1 speed. Now, his abilities. The first ability is Desuckkar. You can only use this twice in a single match. What this ability does is give you speed 1 for 10 seconds. And this ability can be very useful getting away from the killer. As you can see here, much faster now. And without it, pretty decent difference. Next up, the Slate Skin Potion. Again, just like Desuckkar, can only use twice. You become very slow, but you don't take much damage. However, and after that, you get speed 2. However, if you drink Desuckkar when you use Slate Skin Potion, it just does nothing. So, yeah, don't do that. Unless you want to try and get an achievement, because I'm pretty sure there's one for doing that. And the final ability, the Ghost Burger, you can use many times as you want. So what this ability does, you become invisible and undetectable. What this means is, if a killer can use ability and lets him see everyone, if you eat this, they won't be able to see you. So the noob is pretty useful for surviving. However, in terms of helping out his teammates, he's not so great. Well, on to the next character. Alright, for the next character I will be showing, Elliot. So Elliot is much more of a support class. He can't really defend himself, however, he can help out teammates a lot. So his first ability is to throw pizza. What this is, well, throw pizza, anyone who touches it gets healed. Now then, the more generators you complete, the more health the pizza will give. And this rush hour ability has one charge, gets speed 3 for 3 seconds. Pretty good for escaping. If you want to use it again, you have to make sure someone eats it. And now, keep this in mind, you won't get rush hour if you give another Elliot a pizza, and you can't heal yourself with your own pizza. That's pretty much all I have to say for this character, so on to the next survivor. Alright, so the next character will be Shedletsky. Now this character is very good since, well, the first ability is Slash. This ability, if you hit the killer, they will be stunned for a certain amount of time, which is very useful for escaping and then other survivors escape. Next ability is Fried Chicken. You can only use it twice, and what it does is, well, it heals you. It's pretty useful if there's no Elliots around and you're running quite low on health. Now let me show you what happens when you slash the killer. Alright, so here he is. Here's my friend, that's Jason here. So this happens when you slash him. Or any killer really. So, what happens is, well, as you can see, you can't move. Oh, but now he can. So yeah, that's basically what Slash does. Alright, on to the next character. Alright, for next character, I'll be showcasing 2 times. So, the first ability, well, is Dagger, where you can stab the killer. Make sure you don't miss though, because you do get punished quite hard if you miss. Second up is Crouch. You become undetectable and invisibility. However, if you push it again, well, you're in crouch. And our final ability is Ritual. Since it's only me and my friend, I can't really show the ability that much, but I'll try to explain it. So basically, as 2 times, you have the Oblivion meter, which you can increase by using Dagger ability on the killer. With Ritual, you can place down a spawn location. If you have the Oblivion meter at the top, and you die, you respawn. And you gain more health. And for some seconds, you also get speed 3, I'm pretty sure. That's basically it. So yeah, on to the next character. And, by the way, if you crouch and use Dagger, you also launch head, which is definitely the best way to use the dagger ability. So yeah, very important tip. So that'll be it. On to next character. Next character I'll be showcasing is Guess 1337. This character is a lot better at surviving since he has 115 health instead of the standard 100. Now then, his three abilities really only work against the killer. So let me go find my friend wherever he spawned. So here he is. Found my friend right here. So this is what all the abilities do. First ability is to charge, which will give you resistance 5 and slightly knock back the killer, which is pretty good for protecting people if they're being chased. The second ability is block. So let me let my friend to hit me. Right. And block. See, I took no damage from this. And now, I can now punch the killer, which will deal damage and stun him for a bit. That's really all that I guess 337 can do. So, on to the next character. Alright, the next character I'll be showing is 007N7. This character is very good with last man standing, which is basically your last survivor left. So, the first ability is clone. You come with transparent, and well, you send out a clone. And with this injectability, you can change how the clone moves. So, you can path find, which basically leads him to the furthest spawn. Cursor, he moves where your cursor is. And aimless, he just does what he wants to do. Now then, cool GUI. This ability takes 6 seconds to use, however, once it works, you teleport to the furthest spawn. So this can be very good for tricking the killer. If it's last man standing, that'll be a lot of time wasted for him. So yeah, on to the next character. Right, next character I'll be showing is the Builderman. Now then, the Builderman only has 90 health, however, he's very good at supporting the team. So the first ability he has is to build a sentry.
Sentry going up! There wasn't getting any lighter.
In this blue range here, you can't build anything. In his red range, his red sentry can shoot the killer. So, if the killer's inside, he will take damage of course, but also can be slowed down. This is a very good way for the killer to target the sentry, and the other survivors can run away. It takes 2 hits to destroy the sentry with normal attack, and 1 hit with ability. Now, next thing the Builderman can build is a dispenser.
Dispenser going up! There wasn't getting any lighter.
Now then, in this green radius here, survivors will be healed. And of course, blue radius, you can't build anything else. So heals 1 HP per second, and if the killer is targeting you, it will instead target the dispenser, which is very useful for surviving. And now on to the next character. Next character will be Desuckkar. This is the main character that I use, so I'm pretty decent at it, I would say. Now, the first ability is spawn protection. Basically, with this, you can protect a survivor, which gives them a shield and makes them pretty much invincible. However, be warned that you will be slow when using the ability. Now, next ability is plasma beam. If you basically, once you use it, you shoot a beam. If you hit a survivor, they will gain speed, and if you hit a killer, they will slow down. And you'll also highlight them for a short time. And that's everything you need to know about them, really. Let me find my friend really quick and show what happens. Alright, so here he is. I'm going to use plasma beam on him. There you go. Highlight for a very short time, and well, you will be slow for some amount of time. That's it. So on to the next survivor. Taph. Just like Builderman, Taph only has 90 HP. So, his first ability is tripwire. So once you press E, you place down the first tripwire. You can move as far as you want, as long as there's nothing in the way, you can place it wherever you want. if the killer trips on it, it will slow down and be highlighted. However, after a certain amount of time, at things like 40 seconds, it will disappear. And killers, if timed well, it can destroy it with a single attack. Next second ability is Subspace Trip Mine. If killer touches this, they distort their controls and will be helpless, which means that you won't be able to use the ability. After some time, it will explode automatically. Now, survivors can't be affected by this, but Taph players can. So, be careful of that. And that's pretty much all I'll show about Taph. So, next character, yippee! Final survivor of all of them will be Chance. So Chance, well, he is quite literally a chance to take. Everything you do will be about luck. His first ability is Coin Flip. You can either get tails like I did, which gives you weakness, and by the way it stacks, or you can get heads. Like that, which give you a point for all of these. Our first ability is Shoot. Now then, it didn't do anything because, well, it has a chance of actually shooting, chance of doing nothing, and very small chance of exploding. The higher the number you have from getting heads, the higher chance of actually shooting is. Next ability is Reroll. So as you can see here, I only have 86 health, but I could have a lot more, so Reroll will change it. I got quite unlucky and got much less health now. Again, higher number, the better luck you have. Now then, for Hat Fix, you can only use it once you get 3. If I get it, there we go. You see this weakness here? Hat Fix? We'll just remove it. And that's all there has to be about Chance. And also, if shooting killer actually shoots, they'll be stunned for 1 to 4 seconds. So yeah, quite literally everything is a chance. Yeah, I got sort of lucky then. Anyway, on to the next character, which will be the killer. So the first killer I will be showing will be Jason, since just like Noob, everyone will have Jason automatically. Now, a note about all killers is they have slightly more stamina than the survivors, and they are also slightly faster. First up is the M1, which is just like a basic attack. That's pretty much it. Now then, next ability is Behead. You see, there's quite a big range, however, I get slowness 1. This of course deals more damage to the survivor. Gash and Wound, again, just basic range that you can damage survivors with. Now, range and pace. I can see the closest survivor here. And if I attack, I will lunge forwards. Of course, all of this will, well, deal damage. It's pretty obvious, right? So, let me show you all the attacks. So, normal attack, Behead. And then just wait for these abilities to come back. Then Gash and Wound. Yeah, pretty brutal. Now be it for Jason. And keep in mind, Jason, some of his attacks can indeed inflict helpless, so the survivors won't be able to use abilities. Which is kinda OP, not gonna lie. So yeah, for Star Killer, he's pretty good. Well, on to the next killer. Alright, for next killer, I will be showing Cool Kid. Now Cool Kid, unlike the other killers, he can't use ability that shows where survivors are. However, he does have the benefit of being very, very fast. He's the fastest character in the game, I'm pretty sure. So the first ability is of course just a regular punch. Pretty standard. Next up, however, is Corrupt Nature, and this is a projectile attack. Where he mouses, he will throw it. And this can hit multiple survivors. Next up, Walk Speed Overdrive. you lunge towards. If you hear roll, you stop. The final ability is pizza delivery. One of these pizza minions here. If they touch survivor, the survivor will take damage and be inflicted with burn. Like you see right here, I have a little friend right here. Hello there.
You're getting a raise!
He's now taking damage and on fire. Now then, with the punch, takes damage. Corrupt nature, takes damage. Wow, what a surprise. Now with walk speed overdrive.
Tag! You're
Again, deals damage. And that's it for Cool Kid. So yeah, on to the next killer. Alright, for next character I'll be showing is the John Doe killer. So, first up, behind John Doe will be this corruption trail. If any survivor touches it, they'll start taking damage. Now, on to the ability. This ability, of course, is a basic slash. Pretty standard. Now then, next ability is corrupted energy. If you use it, it starts spawning spikes out of the ground. Yeah, they can go quite sporadic. If you don't know what that means, basically, you're everywhere. Next up, digital footprint. You stomp the floor, take this little area otherwise. If the survivor touches it, they'll get slowness and the killer will see them because they will be highlighted. The final ability is 404 error. You'll be slow, however, after a while, you'll be able to see where the survivor is. Yeah, pretty cool. Overall, I'd say John Doe is probably the most standard killer of them all, and most well balanced one. But that doesn't make him bad, he can be pretty decent if you know how to play with him. So, on to the next character, which is also the final one. For the final character, we have 1x1x1x1. He has the most amount of abilities out of any character, I'm pretty sure. So, let's get right into it. The first ability is, of course, Slash. Wow, it's so incredible, am I right? But anyway, next ability is Mass Infection. When you charge up, then eventually launch a projectile. Next up is Entanglement. Essentially same thing, however, it's smaller. But also, if it hits a survivor, all these like little error messages will pop on the screen. You have to click it to get rid of it. So yeah, it can be a big time waste for them and let killer easily kill them. A final ability, Unstable Eye. Be able to see where the survivor is. However, you'll also be blind. But you get a nice speed boost as well. Now, final ability. You need to kill a survivor to be able to use it. Now that I've killed my friend, he summons these minions that can, just like Cool Kids pizza minions, can attack survivors. So yeah, 1x1x1x1 is very much more of a projectile-based killer. And flat maps, I mean this map is decent I guess, but on like very flat maps, he can be quite powerful. That's going to be it for today's video. Hope you guys enjoyed. Remember to like and subscribe for more daily videos, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye!